She'll give remarks at the Dane County Regional Airport in Madison at 6:30. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Then on Thursday, Vice President Kamala Harris returns to Wisconsin. She launched her presidential campaign with a rally in West Dallas in late July. Her events on Thursday are in Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay.
The United States is sending an advanced missile defense system and American troops to Israel. It's called the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, or THAAD. News Nation's Tom Dempsey explains.
This decision to send this special air defense system to Israel comes during a very heightened time of tension with Iran, which shot 180 missiles at Israel earlier this month. In a post to X, Iran's foreign minister issued a warning, writing, quote, "While we have made tremendous efforts in recent days to contain an all-out war in our region, I say it clearly that we have no red lines in defending our people and our interests."
This latest maneuver adds to tension in the region.
Closing park and rides for safety. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is closing the park and ride lot at 4394 and Holt Avenue starting next Monday, so a week from today. The northeast corner and portions of the southwest lot at 4394 College Avenue will close soon after that. And a small area of the southwest College Avenue lot will stay open for transit riders. The closures come from increased safety concerns, with officers responding to 275 calls for service of assault, theft, shots fired, and drug overdoses since July. State and county officials have helped more than 80 people staying in the lots find reliable housing.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Good start to the week here, with the Dow up about 185 points at 43,046. NASDAQ up about 150 points at 18,490. And the S&P 500 is up today about 40 points at 5855. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sounding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up at 11:04.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
It's David Nason, your personal inspection pro from WTMJ's The Fix-It Show. I'm with my go-to basement repair guy, Chris Mancuso of Accurate Basement Repair. This is the team I personally recommend for leaky or cracked basements.
Wow, thanks, David. Our team at Accurate Basement Repair has been fixing leaky and cracked basements for the Fix-It listeners for over 20 years.
That's great, Chris. For more information about how to schedule a free inspection and estimate, check out AccurateBasementRepair.com, because they're not just good, they're accurate.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. With a record of 4-2, the Packers prepare for the 5-1 Houston Texans, who will come to Lambeau for a noon kickoff on Sunday. Matt LaFleur thrilled of his team's performance in a 34-13 win over the Arizona Cardinals.
Just playing 4 quarters of complimentary football, and I thought that was about as good as we could have done it. The effort from start to finish, the focus from start to finish was exactly what is a great formula for winning football.
Every team in the NFC North with a record above 500 at this point of the season. Monday Night Football tonight features the Bills against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And preseason hoops continues for the Bucs tonight at home against the Bulls. Coverage begins at 6:30 here on WTMJ.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Not bad from Monday. No big crashes to let you know about. One disabled vehicle out on the system. It's 4145 north at Hampton Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked because of a car that's broken down. Once again, 4145 north at Hampton Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive, professional servers, bartenders, and pizza cooks. You'll make real cash. Inquire today and start next week. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Fall conditions continue today. Chance of scattered showers, breezy and cool, and a high of 54. Chilly tonight and a low of 36. On Tuesday, some morning rain possible. Waterspouts possible over Lake Michigan. Cool and breezy with a high of 52. Up to 58 on Wednesday. Up to 63 on Thursday. Mostly sunny and 68 on Friday. So warm-up is on the way. Right now, it is 50 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee, approaching 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
This might be a record for the amount of times I've seen waterspouts in a forecast from Tyler Moore and the folks at TMJ4. Waterspouts today, waterspouts tomorrow, waterspouts everywhere.
Listen, if there was no danger, how cool would it be? Because they're really neat to see. But we do have to pay attention to them.
Definitely. They're like mini over-the-water tornadoes, but they're not. Mini is the operative word there. These aren't massive. I remember they were here not too long ago, and Craig Copleen of our staff saw some really cool pictures, or took some cool pictures from the MN building and his lofty perch up there.
Oh, yeah.
It looked so cool.
That's a great view.
It looked
up there.
interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So more on that coming up as we work throughout the day here. It's 11:08. It's the big stories that we're following.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, with just 3 weeks now until the election, both presidential candidates are crisscrossing battleground states. Kamala Harris is scheduled to be in western Pennsylvania today, while her Blue Wall bus tour begins in Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers will join Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Harris's running mate Tim Walz as that tour begins. Harris is scheduled to be here in Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay coming up on Thursday. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump is scheduled to be in Philadelphia today after spending time over the weekend in Arizona. Trump's schedule in the closing weeks is peppered with detours into overwhelmingly Democratic states. Also coming into focus right now, medical records.
With just 22 days to go, Harris is now questioning Trump's fitness for office.
He talks at his rallies about fictional characters. He constantly is in a state of grievance about himself.
If elected, Trump would be the oldest president ever inaugurated. But his campaign still refuses to release his detailed medical records, instead pointing to a letter from Trump's personal doctor released last November, which said his overall health is excellent, without providing many specifics.
ABC's Mary Bruce there. It kind of felt like we'd never get here. But now, 3 weeks away, it's coming up quickly.
Yeah, you start talking about medical records and things along that line, you know you're maybe running out of things to talk about, but the campaign trail is certainly hot and heavy, no doubt about that. Hey, NASA's mission to investigate a potentially habitable ocean world is off and running. Put these words together, a habitable ocean world. This launched just moments ago, the Europa Clipper, NASA's first spacecraft dedicated to studying an ice-covered ocean in our solar system. So they've not been in the Jupiter area in more than a decade, and the goal here is to try and figure out whether Jupiter's moon, Europa, could be habitable for life as we know it. They have found that under the surface, which is very soft and smooth, which indicates there's a lot of water under the surface. And they feel like...
What could live there?
Exactly. Is there some sort of ocean plant? Is there any sort of life or any kind of fish? Any kind of life in general. The object, the investigation is to try and figure that out. Not going to Jupiter itself, but one of its moons, Europa. They've got all these instruments and gravity experiment to investigate the ocean beneath Europa's thick ice shell.
Europa Clipper. It sounds to me like it could be a soccer tournament.
It does. It very much does. Sounds like
Day
a weather
2,
system.
The Europa Clipper.
Or a soccer tournament or something like that. But no, it's a NASA mission, and it's in the area of Jupiter. And this is fascinating. They're going to try and figure out if there's life in that water.
Fascinating indeed. Number 3, a big announcement from Milwaukee World Festival today. The first headliner of Summerfest 2025.
I got a heart like a truck. It's been drugged through the mud. Rubs on dreams and gasoline. And that old highway holds a key. It's got a lead foot down when it's
Grammy-winning country star Lainey Wilson will play the American Family Insurance Amphitheater on Thursday, June 26. She's on a roll right now. Lainey Wilson is the reigning Country Music Awards Entertainer of the Year. She also took home that same title at the Academy Country Music Awards this year. I mean, that's huge. Boom, boom, boom. Honestly, I feel like I didn't know about her 2 years ago, and she's everywhere now.
Being an entertainer of the year certainly helped buoy her a little bit. But yeah, a good get here for Summerfest. One of many, and these will start trickling in, but it feels sort of monumental.
The first one is a big deal.
Yeah, it feels like a big deal.
They're all a big deal, but the first one, the first major announcement for Summerfest. Wilson, by the way, scheduled to play the Hoofbeat Country Music Festival in Cadott, Wisconsin on June 27th. So the next day, she's like, hey, I'm in Wisconsin. I'm just going to go on there, too.
Couple of stops.
Summerfest returns, in case you're wondering, for 3 weekends in 2025. It is Thursday through Saturday on June 19th through the 21st, June 26th through the 28th, and July 3rd through the 5th.
11:13 on WTMJ. What are waterspouts really? Any inherent danger here? TMJ4 Tyler Moore, our meteorologist friend, will join us after this.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Higginson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Tune in each week as John exposes industry myths for truth seekers looking to navigate their way to financial freedom. What he reveals may surprise you. To learn more about the show and how Creative Planning can help you build a custom financial plan and portfolio tailored to you and your goals, visit creativeplanning.com/radio. Don't settle for outdated advice. Your money deserves better, and so do you.
All this talk about Summerfest starting to get me hungry here. Whenever I'm hungry, I usually end up thinking Palermo's, and then I end up baking Palermo's, and then I end up eating Palermo's. That's kind of how it goes. That's the order of business if you're hungry. Palermo's. Put it on the plate, put it on the table. Everyone's going to be happy if you make it a Palermo's night. Greg Matzik reminding you that Palermo's can be found wherever you buy frozen pizzas or regular groceries. Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Sendik's, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's, places you no doubt like to shop, you'll find Palermo's. It is Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Pick up a few here. Try the Primo Thin, the Connie's, the Urban Pie. Love Screamin' Sicilian. It's overflowing with toppings. That is a different level frozen pizza in my world. Love the Screamin' Sicilian. I really love them all. There's a slice for every appetite with Palermo's. Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Support local and eat great with Palermo's.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Kohler Services and Gadish Foundation. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
11:15 on WTMJ. Greg and Jessica with you. It's the Monday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News. We usually check in with Tyler Moore at like 11:23 or so, but we are so fascinated by the world of waterspouts that we decided to bump them up in the show.
We had so much to talk about. We didn't want to crunch him in there.
No, not at all. Tyler joins us on the line right now. I've never seen waterspouts written so many times in a forecast for a week, Tyler. These pop up on occasion, but what sets the conditions for us potentially experiencing waterspouts this week?
Yeah, it is a unique situation that we typically do see in the fall time, so it's not unusual, but there are some pieces of the puzzle that have to come together to see waterspouts. So yeah, I mean, you can Google waterspouts on Lake Michigan, and they pop up a lot. You probably saw some yesterday on social media as well. We have the chance once again this evening into tonight and all the way into tomorrow morning to see that. So the question you have is, okay, how do you get these to develop? Well, you need a couple of things. You need Lake Michigan to still be warm, and then you need cold air moving over the warmer waters. And what happens is the air starts to warm as it moves over the warmer waters. Lake Michigan's still in the lower 60s. So you get that air that warms, and there's colder air aloft, so warm air rises, and you get the clouds to develop. Well, once as you have air that's now moved up, you need something to fill that space, right? More air. So then more air moves in, and then you can get some rotation on that air, and then that gets sucked up into the cloud, and that's how you get water spouts. And also over the water, there's less friction. So over land, you have trees, buildings that can slow the wind speeds and kind of mess with it. But over water, you can get a nice feed into some of these clouds and into these storms where you get the convergence to produce some of these funnels and the water spouts themselves.
Tyler, how often do we see these water spouts come on shore, and then how much do you need to pay attention to them when they actually are on shore?
Yeah, it's rare for them to come on shore. But there is the potential there tonight into tomorrow morning because our winds will come a little bit out of the northeast for a brief period of time tomorrow morning. How often does it occur? Not very often, just because normally you see them kind of stay right offshore with a north to south breeze. But the potential is there. You see it a lot in Florida and some places down in the south where you can see some of those that move on shore. They typically don't last very long. They're weak and they'll fall apart within a minute or two, but they can be classified as a tornado after they do move on shore. It goes from a water spout to a tornado if it does some damage and holds on. So yeah, there's the potential we might have to watch a couple of these showers as they move on shore. Tomorrow morning, we could see an isolated water spout become a tornado.
Well, the inherent danger on land seems less, but if you're out in the water and doing some early morning fishing, right? I mean, this is really something you got to be mindful of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had some winds out there that have been whipping too, so definitely not the best time to be on the water. But yeah, tomorrow morning, you're going to want to keep an eye on that too. And then we're going to have gusts near 30 miles per hour, so pretty rough on the water. But too, if you're on land and you're out and about and all of a sudden you see one of these funnels coming towards you, you might just want to take a little cover for a little bit. It's nothing too extreme. I mean, normally winds are only 80, 90 miles per hour in some of the stronger water spouts, and they do dissipate quickly, but it can do some damage to trees and even to roofs a little bit. So, yeah, something not to mess with and go try to stand in the middle of because they can be strong.
If somebody is out on the water and had not been paying attention, all of a sudden sees one, obviously you want to get away from it, but is there a certain way? I know sometimes you hear about, okay, if there's a tornado, here's what you want to do. If you see a water spout and you're out on the water, how do you get away from it? Is there a right way and a wrong way?
Yeah, it's kind of, you know how with rip currents we say, oh, you're supposed to swim parallel to shore to get out of rip currents. It's kind of the same thing with water spouts too. You want to go in a 90-degree direction away from where it is traveling. So sometimes it can be hard to tell which way it's going, but you want to head parallel to shore because obviously if you go in or out, you could get stuck in its path. But if you can go shoreline either north or south, that's the best way to kind of avoid it.
TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore joining us here at 11:19. Tyler, I wanted to ask about the situation in Florida. I know they had, Hurricane Milton and Helene roll through there. They're having some persistent issues here with flooding in the regions. The water is just not receding. I suppose it's just a matter of time. But my wonder and concern, not sure how much you've looked at Florida recently, but is there anything else brewing? I mean, it's still kind of the heart of hurricane season down there.
Yeah, I always say once you get to Halloween, you're kind of safer going into November. I know hurricane season runs through the end of November, but once you can get to Halloween, that's when things really drop off. So we do still have a couple weeks here to look at some potential. There's been chatter about, there's going to be another storm heading right towards Florida. I still don't see it. People are grabbing one model run that's out there and posting it on social media and saying there's another one heading towards Florida because it gets the hype and the spook of people. So nothing to be concerned about in Florida. There's only one area that we're watching way out in the middle of the Atlantic that could move towards Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, in about 5 or 6 days, but I don't see it making it past the Bahamas. There's just too many blocking patterns in the way to get any storms near Florida over the next week or two. So I think Florida is safe for their cleanup efforts. That's great news to bring some of the water levels down as well. So nothing too concerning right now. Obviously, we'll just have to keep an eye on things as we roll through October.
Coming back here locally, I was taking a peek. Obviously, the water spouts are very interesting, but also some other words that popped out on this forecast. Freeze warning.
Yeah, I tried to avoid that one. Sorry.
Yeah, and I might throw another word at you that you might not also like. We could see a couple wet snowflakes mix in tonight, too.
I saw that, too. So. Yes, that was my other one. Snowflakes? Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on?
We can break it down here. So it's the same thing. It's kind of the crazy pattern that we're in, right? We were just 80s. Now we're dropping the temperatures down, and we got some scattered rain showers. What's happening is it's coming in with some cold air, too. So we're going to see some of these showers that move on shore tonight into tomorrow, and there's just enough cold air up aloft that some of it will be snowflakes. The question is, does it make its way all the way down to the surface? So I think if you live closer towards the lakefront, you're probably not going to see it, but I'm thinking places like Hartford, West Bend, kind of on that Kettle Moraine where you got some of the hills out towards Holy Hill, where the snowflakes might hold on just enough that you might see a couple flying through the sky tomorrow morning with some of those rain showers. It will not accumulate. It's not going to be a big deal, but it could see the first flakes of the season is what we're thinking we might see in a couple spots. So I think most just see rain, but the potential's there. And then after the skies clear behind this system, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we're looking at the potential for some upper 20s away from the lake, if not down near freezing. So yeah, it is going to be a chilly Wednesday morning. We'll probably have either frost advisories or freeze warnings getting issued probably tomorrow for Wednesday morning, as we could see, cover up the plants, bring them inside, do whatever you need to do to keep them safe.
I mean, it was 80 on Friday.
Yes,
and it felt like 80 on Friday.
Yeah, it was beautiful on Friday. And then this weekend, guess what? 70s, low 70s and sunshine. So good weather to look forward to this weekend. But yeah, just this dip in temperatures next couple days.
You talk about the plants, though. Last night, we brought our jalapenos and our habaneros in because it was so breezy downtown. I thought I was going to lose some of the peppers. So we brought them in. Now we have them back out. But you're saying for people down by the lake, we should be okay. But for people in the burbs, if you have plants out, you got to cover them.
Yeah, if you're within a couple miles of the lake, you might be all right. It's probably safe to bring them in just because you never know how low the temperatures get with Lake Michigan so close. I mean, it can be a mile or two difference between areas that are still upper 30s versus closer towards freezing. So it's probably safe for most people to bring them in. But I feel the pain with the wind. I just planted a tree in the front yard 2 days ago, and I was like, please don't fall over. Like, please just hang on, because I really just don't want to have to plant it all over again.
Did it hang on?
It was still there this morning, so we'll see when I get home later on today. It was the first thing I looked outside this morning. I looked out, I was like, yes, it's still standing. Okay, I guess I did an okay job planting it.
Oh, good. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. And I think I might harvest the peppers tonight and make some hot sauce. So maybe tonight's night just to make that hot sauce and not have to worry about it.
That sounds delicious, actually.
It is. if you like it spicy.
All right,
like
Tyler, get some hot sauce and salsa your way. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Tyler.
it.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
You bet. It's 11:23 on WTMJ. Just in time for the holiday shopping season. Someone or something to help you.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Protecting your family's legacy since 1999. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here, talking about Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. Dan Krause has built a business out of helping you, helping loved ones, helping family members. That's how we got started, as a matter of fact. Retired Army veteran, served our country for over 20 years. Now Dan Krause is helping you protect what you've built and protect what you've earned with estate planning. And I know it's a big thing to think about. It can feel overwhelming, sometimes suffocating. Well, Dan and the team at Krause Estate Planning take all of the worry and stress out of the process. It's a customized plan that they will help build for you. Your situation is your situation, not somebody else's. They build a custom plan at Krause Estate Planning. Visit estateplanningpeople.com. If you have specific questions with regard to Medicare, you can visit SaveMomsAssets.com. Both will tie you back to Krause Estate Planning. And Elder Law Center. Office is now open in Brookfield, Madison, and just south of Madison in Oregon.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Fredert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit fredert.com/heart.
Well, is it the future of retail shopping? Amazon and Walmart are introducing AI tools just in time for the holiday shopping season, Jessica, which is officially underway. At least at Costco it is, because everything is turned over to Christmas, but nonetheless.
You know what else I saw? Somebody posted on Costco. I have to fact check this, but I would not be surprised that one of our local, out in the burbs, one of our local Costco's is like the top seller for gold bars.
Oh, geez. Pewaukee? Isn't that right? I think I saw that with Pewaukee.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Pewaukee or which one it was, but it was out in that area, and I just thought, that's kind of fascinating. Not totally surprised, but it's interesting.
So Amazon has a new AI chatbot. That's right, artificial intelligence. AI tools being introduced by Amazon and Walmart to help you through the process. Specifically, Rufus, this AI chatbot, sounds kind of like a dog, is trying to help bargain hunters, and Walmart has launched a personalized AI assistant that'll help create a personalized experience.
Their AI may be able to predict what you want to buy and put it in your cart and perhaps even ship it to you so it just arrives.
That is Wired senior reporter Will Knight telling ABC that AI will give retailers a major advantage to collect data on customers, and in some requests it can help fill out a shopping cart for you.
Can you pick if you want Rufus to help you or Rachel?
Like, is there another version of Rufus, right? That I don't know. I don't know if they've gotten deep into that.
Because you're right, Rufus does kind of sound like a pup.
A little bit.
Companies, retailers have to get into this because it looks like it's the future of their industry.
So AI started to play into this world with Amazon several years ago, as a matter of fact. I remember in like 2018, there was a little button on my Amazon app that it was like, what is this? But it allowed you, and this seems more common now, it allowed you to look at an object in your room, right? If you were buying a dresser, you could take that dresser and put it in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Right? And now that seems
been a good
common.
thing for design.
But this goes back to like 2017, I remember seeing that. So AI has been involved here in the space for a number of years, but now it's becoming a little more personalized. The news is next.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for a holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the SUV season sales event is on. Perfect timing to gear up for fall and winter driving. Get more Mazda for your money, more for your trade, and score enticing offers. Well-qualified buyers lock in finance rates as low as 0% on all-wheel drive favorites, including the invigorating Mazda CX-5 or CX-30, off-road ready Mazda CX-50, roomy and responsive 3-row Mazda CX-90, and more. Connect with Holiday and discover car buying that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State and beyond. Fans like me. And this guy.
This is professional running back Braylon Allen, and I drive Holiday. It's impressive how easy car buying can be with Team Holiday on your side.
I agree. That's the way it works at Holiday, and why I encourage you to check them out. Treat yourself to a test drive, find yours, and drive it home today from Wisconsin's #1. Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
When you need to sell quickly, choose Grandview to buy your home, even if it's less than perfect. Don't waste time and money on finding a real estate agent and dealing with showings. We'll buy your home completely as is. No repairs, not even a clean out. Grandview Homes gives you an offer in hours, and we close on the day you choose in as little as 10 days with no closing costs. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
It's 11:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, October 14th. Your top story, students in Slinger getting out early.
I'm Jessica Ty. Did you really miss jury duty, or is it a scam?
Chance for some rain in the afternoon today, otherwise breezy and cool, and a high of 54 tonight. Water spouts possible over Lake Michigan, some showers inland, and a high of 36. I should say a low of 36. Tomorrow, cool and breezy and a high of 52. 52, and the sun is starting to shine in Milwaukee. At 11:31 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, and some breaking news that we're following here, a bomb threat prompting a school district in the suburbs to dismiss students early.
Slinger High School and Slinger Elementary School students are being sent home early this afternoon while law enforcement officials sweep the high school. This after the district says students received a social media post indicating that a bomb threat was targeting the high school this afternoon. Now, the district doesn't consider it a credible threat. In fact, they believe it likely is swatting. However, they are acting out of an abundance of caution. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Back-to-back catastrophes with Hurricanes Helene and Milton caused hundreds of billions of dollars in damage, and not just because they were major storms.
Those large events, when we're talking tens of billions of dollars, add up and everyone contributes.
VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance, Jeff Salazinski, telling Wisconsin's Morning News costs to repair or replace vehicles, property, homes, and businesses soared. An important reminder to check if you're properly insured.
If you had a limit of insurance that you haven't really looked at or evaluated in 2 or 3 years, it's not enough. It needs to go up.
Salazinski recommends checking with your agent every year. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
Decision, Wisconsin. There's a question about non-citizen voting on your ballot this November. Wisconsin law currently does not allow non-citizens to vote in any election. The referendum question asks to amend Wisconsin's constitution to prevent a government from pursuing it in the future. President and General Counsel at Law Forward, Jeff Mandel, tells WTMJ that under current law, a local municipality or school board would need to express interest in the first place.
They would have to pass an ordinance to make it legal there, and they would have to work with the Wisconsin Elections Commission to find a method to make sure that could happen without those non-citizens being able to vote for any state or federal office.
Only a handful of municipalities in the country have experimented with non-citizen voting in local elections, and none here in the state of Wisconsin.
Have you received a phone call or email claiming you missed jury duty when you weren't even sent a notice in the mail about it? Michelle Reinen of the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection says you may have been scammed.
If you think an email or a notification is real, call the court directly at the number that you can verify is correct. Never use the contact information in any suspicious messages that you receive. And keep in mind, a real jury summons is sent by U.S. mail before you're required to appear for jury selection.
If you think you've been scammed, contact the Wisconsin Consumer Protection's office.
Well, colder months in the state mean flu and cold season are fast approaching. But what about respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV? Dr. Leonard Friedland tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News how serious some of those RSV cases can be.
It's estimated there's about 177,000 adults over the age of 65 who get sick enough that they end up needing to be hospitalized. Of that 177,000 hospitalizations in adults over 65, unfortunately, 14,000 approximately die.
Dr. Friedland says anyone 60 or older should start getting vaccinated for RSV to prevent respiratory harm.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
At All Right Home and Remodeling, we get lots of compliments on our work. But our favorite compliment is a repeat customer. We get lots of those too. It's what happens when you do the job right and you treat your customers right. It's how my family has been helping homeowners replace their windows, siding, doors, insulation, and more for over 50 years now. Visit us at ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
Stop by and visit us at the NARI Fall Home Improvement Show, October 18th through the 20th at State Fair Park.
Hey, WTMJ Sandy Max here to tell you about incredible career opportunities with my friends at Three Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. Three Pillars is rated as the top senior living community in Wisconsin, and it's a certified great place to work. Nursing to dining services, maintenance to housekeeping, you'll find an abundance of rewarding jobs available in a serene setting where you make a difference in the lives of others every day. Go to threepillars.org and click the Careers tab to learn more.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel, inviting you on an unforgettable 2025 European journey. Travel in style, embrace beauty, and create memories with new friends as you visit our favorite destinations, including Ireland, Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, Poland, Croatia, and more. Whether it's your first or your 10th time visiting Europe, you don't want to miss out on our expertly crafted group tours with Insight Vacations, Globus, or Avalon Waterways. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Let's explore the world together.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get zero interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Luxtone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are 4-2 following yesterday's 34-13 win over the Arizona Cardinals.
Just playing 4 quarters of complimentary football, and I thought that was about as good as we could have done it. The effort from start to finish, the focus from start to finish was exactly what is a great formula for winning football.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur next up for Green Bay. The 5-1 Houston Texans, they'll be at Lambeau Sunday for a noon kick. Monday Night Football, it's the Bills taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And basketball tonight in Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum. The Bucks continue the preseason against the Bulls. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time safer traffic. We're looking really good on this Monday morning. Just one incident, 4145 north at Hampton Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down. But I just took a peek at the cameras, and that shoulder, it's a really big one. It's very much so off to the side, and it doesn't even look like traffic is slowing down because of that. So we're looking good there. The only other thing I really see is some slowdowns on 43 where the construction work is, but if you travel that area, you're used to that by now.
Fall-like temperatures today. Showers are possible in the afternoon of the scattered variety. Hello.
Uh-oh. There's a frog in here.
Wow, what if it was gone for good? Like for the next hour and a half of the show, I just had zero voice.
Well, here I be.
I even drank a sip of water before I did the forecast here. Let's try it again, shall we? Isolated chance of a shower this afternoon. Breezy and cool with a high of 54. Chilly tonight and a low of 36. Tuesday looks very similar to today. Chance for AM rain. Those water spouts over Lake Michigan are possible. Cool and breezy with a high of 52. We slowly start warming up here. Wednesday high 58. Thursday high 63. Friday high of 68. Sun out in full force Wednesday through Friday. Cover up the plants though. Might even be a little bit of frost on the ground this morning, midweek. It's 52 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:38. Well, the race is officially on. The countdown to the November 5th election definitely in focus here, and all the polls indicate a very tight race, as you might expect. The deadlock extends to key battleground states, Wisconsin in the center of it all, along with Michigan and Pennsylvania. Both candidates, Harris and former President Trump, spending time in the western part of the states last week, and now they're sort of dividing energy until Wisconsin comes back in focus early this week. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, help us set up the week here and why Wisconsin is such a focus, especially this week for the Harris campaign.
Yeah, a big part of that blue wall, the Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin loop that Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz are going to be doing all of this week. These are critical states for Democrats. Win these states, they can win the White House. And so you're going to see them pouring attention over this week into those states. Vice President Harris is going to be in Pennsylvania twice, Michigan twice, squeezing in Wisconsin as well in the middle of this week. She'll be out your way on Thursday in Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay. Governor Walz is in Green Bay and Eau Claire today, kicking off a bus tour with Democratic governors that are supporting the ticket, trying to drum up some enthusiasm. And notably today, you'll see Harris in Erie, Pennsylvania, the northwest corner of the state, and former President Donald Trump in the suburbs of Philadelphia, the southeast part of the state. So very important, obviously, Pennsylvania. The fact that both candidates are there today shows the significance of that state. But, this is really about trying to lock down Democratic support. It's not changing minds at this point. The number of undecided or movable voters is not very large. So this is about driving your turnout, making sure people have their plans to vote. We saw her in Arizona last week with early voting underway. North Carolina has early voting getting started in just a couple of days. So their visits are very targeted, knowing what the calendar is like, and those areas are very important of where they believe that their voters are and where they need to get them to show up.
Many people think the blue wall battleground states will be won or lost on the economy. Trump has had an edge. Does the Harris campaign think that they're making inroads there?
They do, and you see that in some polls, that what was a pretty sizable edge for Trump is now a more modest edge. He still has that, but it has been diminished in recent weeks. Harris has gained ground. Now, is that enough to push her over? We'll see. But that is why you see her out there really talking about different plans for her economic message. Today, she's rolling out a plan focused specifically on black men. That's obviously a demographic that polls have shown some softening support for her. And so she's going to keep going with that message over the next couple of days after rolling out this proposal today in Pennsylvania. But I think, when you look at polls, people say the economy, abortion, immigration are top issues for them right now. And she has an edge on abortion, but on the others, she's trying to figure out ways to keep it in the spotlight, even though she trails him in terms of what Americans say are, who's best equipped to handle the economy, or do they feel more comfortable with her right now and where things stand, and on the issue of the border as well. But I think they're trying to go on offense on some of these policy areas where, you'd think they'd be playing defense on.
That's interesting because, think of us in Wisconsin. I don't know that really either side of the ticket has had immigration as their lead focus. Border protection. Yeah. When campaigning in Wisconsin, it's always been abortion or the economy. Not to say that immigration is not important to Wisconsinites, but it probably resonates more in Arizona or Texas or California.
And that's why it's interesting to see former President Donald Trump going to California, going to Colorado. He has an event coming up in New York City, Manhattan, at Madison Square Garden, where, none of those places are battlegrounds right now, but it's an attempt by their campaign to just drive national attention on issues, talking about immigration and border security in Colorado by highlighting what had been false claims in a particular town, but he's trying to do it differently. But I think you're right. The tailored message is so important, and for Harris, the next week with those three states, expect a very, very heavy focus on the economy.
One of Harris's first major appearances was here in our area, West Allis, which is a suburb of Milwaukee. I wonder, for the people that went to that rally at the school, who might be going to her event on Thursday here in Milwaukee when she arrives, will they hear a little bit different message? Does her message evolve for the people who saw her the first time and will be there again? Or does the message kind of stay the same because she's still trying to get her message out there to more people?
Yeah, I think it's kind of feels like a cop-out, but it's a little bit of both. In some ways, she's still trying to get her message out. And you see that in polls of people saying, I still need to learn more. I still want to hear more about her policy proposals. So she's doing that. But now that we're in the 3-week crunch, and by the time she gets to you, under 3 weeks to go, it's really about driving turnout. There's an urgency, I think, in her message that we saw her in North Carolina. There was certainly more of a intensity in her message about the contrast between her and Donald Trump on the economy, on abortion, and on what she says are some of the darker things he's been saying recently on deportations and things like that. So I think if there's a change in the message, it's more in the tone and approach of the message, even if the policy ideas are the same.
These states are so critical. It's interesting. I always wonder how people in Kansas feel. Nobody's going to Kansas. Nobody's going to Wyoming. Nobody's going to some of these other states. I wonder how they feel. They just must feel, obviously, that these states are so locked up that they're not swing, they're not battleground. But I'm always curious about that. This is trip number 10 to the state of Wisconsin.
And trip number 10 today to Pennsylvania, too. And that's just since July, since she announced her candidacy. So it's a really contracted schedule, of course, for her. That said, I would think that there are probably many people in your state. I know I'm from Philadelphia, so talking to folks and family up there, I think some people might be able to relinquish their battleground status if it meant the campaign ads would go away and they could get a little bit of a break from all of the politicking. But then you realize you're not as important anymore, or you're not as popular. So, soak up the attention while it's there.
Can't believe we're about 3 weeks away.
Definitely crunch time. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers. We thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Have a great day. Thanks.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved. But that's probably a mistake, because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventNose.com.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Now I can have all the cookouts and get-togethers in my backyard with some extra shade and relaxation for my guests. Comfort Awnings is a local family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. In October, you can receive a free motor with the purchase of any awning or screen. Their best deal yet. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit ComfortAwnings.com to learn more.
Well, from Monday, today, to Sunday, this weekend, you're going to have about a 20-degree warm-up. 55 your high today, 75 and sunny on Sunday. In between, you might have a little bit of frost, you might have a little bit of rain, but a slow, gradual warm-up here. That's fall. Fall in Wisconsin, right?
Might have a water spout.
Yes.
Some of you might see some snowflakes. There's a little bit of everything in there.
I know. Fall in Wisconsin in a nutshell here when you get to mid-October. As for today, there is a chance of some PM sprinkles. It's going to be breezy, going to be cool with a high of just 54 degrees. Tomorrow looks much of the same. These water spouts could continue, could be visible over Lake Michigan as the conditions warrant. And we get a slow warm-up here. Wednesday high of 58 into the 60s. By the middle of the week, and toward the end of the week, we're at about 68 and a lot of sun. So gradual warm-up here throughout the course of the week. It's 52 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:49.
On 3rd and 4, here comes the blitz. Garnett providing the pressure. Love wafts it up. Oh, what an adjustment! Romeo Dobbs! The 20-yard touchdown!
Drama-free win for the Packers. It is a Victory Monday here in Wisconsin's Midday News. Would you rather have the blowout, or would you rather have the win that comes down to the final seconds and you're at the edge of your seat the entire fourth quarter?
Some people can't handle that. I love that.
You want the thrill ride.
Doesn't matter the sport. I want the thrill ride. I want it close. Yep.
Well, coaches like drama-free. I can tell you that much. Coaches like drama-free. And that was a wire-to-wire, drama-free win for the Packers over a team that I think people have some questions about in Arizona, but they did beat one of the better teams in the NFC last week in San Francisco. They were trailing 14 points, and they won that game on the road. So some people thought, well, this is going to be kind of interesting at Lambeau. But finally, everything looked packaged together for the Packers yesterday. Everything was working. Offense, defense, forcing turnovers. Everything was working.
It kind of felt like, too, when you said drama-free, it felt like we kicked some drama to the curb as well with the Romeo Dobbs situation with this win.
Yeah,
Didn't you feel like that?
I do. So Romeo Dobbs was suspended for that game against the Rams. He chose not to show up to practice on Thursday and Friday going into that week and was suspended for that weekend's game. He didn't really address it much midweek when the Packers opened their locker room on Wednesday.
Which left so many more questions.
It did. And then teammates were having to respond, well, where was Romeo? How do you just welcome him back into the good graces? Nobody really knew exactly what had happened and what the frustration was. Romeo did speak to members of the media on Friday. He's very soft-spoken, and he talked about some things going on in his life personally and challenges that he had mentally. Admitted that he handled things the wrong way, and that open lines of communication are important, and that's certainly been stressed by head coach Matt LaFleur. But he was back on the field Sunday. He caught 3 balls, 2 of which were touchdowns in a lopsided win. So some feel-good there for sure. And you love to see the guys hugging Romeo afterwards, and he's not a big celebration guy. He's always really calm.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a weight off his shoulders, but I think maybe even listening to our post-game, that many Packers fans were like, all right, welcome back. You know you did something wrong, but you did right on the field, and all is forgiven. Let's move forward.
Yeah, I kind of actually felt bad for him a little bit at the end because he was like, it was a family thing. I absolutely wish I would have handled this differently. So, okay, there's remorse there, and, he didn't get paid for that practice. And, yeah, I feel like we're all just moving on. It does make me curious a little bit, but that's the newsy in me as to what was really going on. But, yeah, it was nice to see the touchdown. Then he just leaped in for the Lambeau leap there. It was nice. The Packers just dominated that first half.
Yeah, it wasn't really close, right? It really was not close. Packers got on the board and kept rolling. They were up 24-0 before Arizona came back into things. The one thing...
Is it the officiating?
Well, officiating's always a thing. But the one thing that didn't go quite as right...
Oh, the kicker.
This is a problem.
Yep, doesn't seem to matter who...
This is a problem.
Yeah, and doesn't seem to matter who we have.
Matt LaFleur's reaction to Braden Narveson missing yet another kick in this game... I mean, Matt was like jumping up and down, slams his knees like he was not happy at the kicker who missed another kick to the right. All of his misses have been to the right. He's got the worst percentage for making field goals among kickers in the NFL. That's not where you want to be when your team has lofty goals and aspirations. He did make his final kick, his second kick of the game. I maintain that was a job-saving kick.
Really?
If he misses that kick, he's looking for a new job today. And he might be...
Who the heck are we getting at this point?
Well, that's always the question, right? Who's the suitable replacement? And there's not a long list there. But the Packers have a kicking problem right now. It's a problem.
So I had heard a little rumor. Well, actually, it was my mom over the weekend. She said, and I hadn't heard this, so Greg, you would know. I'll ask. I had heard that they were working on the placement of the back of his foot. There was something wrong with the placement of the back of his foot, and they thought they had it, and he was kicking him okay.
Nailing everything in practice.
Well, was there something to that, though, that there was like the back of his foot was placed oddly a little bit, and they just needed to make a tweak, or is that just baloney maloney?
Any soccer coach will say, if you want the ball to go in this direction, put your foot in that direction, right? You know what I mean? If you need to kick the ball straight, have your foot kind of pointed in the direction where you want it to go. And look, I'm no kicking expert, but it looked like to me that the snapshot, the close-up of his missed kick to the right, looked like his foot was kind of sort of angled to the right, like he kicked it on line with where his foot was. I don't know if he was playing the wind or maybe not playing the wind, but every kick has been missed to the right. That there's something there I feel like is a technique that could be worked on to help make it better. But I'm worried that you hang with this guy for too long and it costs you a game. Again, you get to this point where every team in the division is playing well right now. Everybody's above 500. You got to win the division to help secure maybe a bye or a home field playoff game. You don't want it coming down to 3 points.
No.
That's my only hiccup with yesterday's game.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but that's the only hiccup. I mean, bottom line, Packers win 34-13 over the Cardinals. We're cheering once again for Romeo Dobbs. The weather was a little burp if you were out there as a fan.
Yeah, it rained, then wind, then sun.
I think it's yes, you're right. I think it's one thing, though, in the beginning, as a fan out there at Lambeau, to be in cold weather. It's kind of fun to bundle up right as part of Lambeau, but the rain is always, no thanks.
Yeah, if you're missing kicks when it's 75 and sunny, I'm not feeling good about the opportunity to make those kicks when it's 25 and nasty.
We just got a question from the 262 that says, did Anders Carlson leave football and begin his career as an airline pilot?
Well, you should text him.
And I love that question because this listener remembers the story that I did with Anders Carlson. And it's funny because my husband and I were just talking about that because my husband works for one of the major airlines and he also instructs. And so we were kind of saying, he said, you think I'm going to see Anders in class one day? Like I'll be instructing him? My gut says, I don't know. I should text him and see. My gut says he's kind of hanging out, waiting for something to pop for him, don't you think?
Yeah, possibly. You know, the Packers had a guy named Greg Joseph in camp to compete with Anders.
Yeah.
And they ultimately decided not to keep either one of them. Joseph is now kicking for the Giants, and in last night's game against the Bengals, it was a one-score game until very late. He missed 2 field goals. He missed both of his attempts. So people saying, where's Greg Joseph? Bring the veteran back. He missed 2 field goals against the Bengals last night on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, I'm glad you were watching that game because I was not watching that one. Not taking notes on that.
Bleeding watching that game. It was an awful game to watch. Packers, great game to watch. The Texans come to town on Sunday. That should be a good one. The Texans are 5-1. The news is next. It's 11:57.
New president, new economic policy. 2025 will be a season of change, especially when it comes to your taxes. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano with another free webinar from Annex Wealth Management. Text WEB to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. Sign up now and have your questions answered. Set up financial success for the new year. Text WEB to the WTMJ talk and text line with another free webinar from Annex Wealth Management.
Sarah, do you know what Monica has cooked up for Sweetest Day?
Here she comes. Let's ask her.
Monica, we were wondering what you've cooked up for Sweetest Day.
Imagine a pendant with the classic perfect Valentine's heart, the kind a grade school boy would draw for his girlfriend. Okay, so what makes it special? The heart is made of bright cherry red ceramic, and it's surrounded by 18 tiny little newborn diamonds.
Ceramic?
18 diamonds? Yeah, cherry red ceramic with 18 newborn diamonds, and it's only $128.
I don't know how many of those we made, but we didn't make enough. What else have we got?
A long stem American Beauty rose, 100% natural. Why would someone come to Kessler's for that? Because our full-size American Beauty roses are preserved forever under a shimmering layer of pure 24-karat gold. Kessler's gold roses are back! And they're just $99 for Sweetest Day.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Does your home need a new defensive coach? Is it prepared for the upcoming wind, cold, rain, and snow? I recommend Siding Unlimited. Can wind and cold get through your windows? Siding Unlimited fixes that. Water and snow a challenge for your roof? Siding Unlimited fixes that too. Is the siding letting the elements through or just looking offensive? Fixing that is Siding Unlimited's first and continuing specialty. When the weather's offense beats your home's defense, call in Siding Unlimited. They're not only the best, they're now a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Their name says siding, but they're so much more. Whatever the challenge, put Siding Unlimited in. See their stuff, siding, windows, roofing, and decks on Instagram or at their unique outside-in showroom in Brookfield. They're waiting for you. What are you waiting for? SidingUnlimited.com.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Krause Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know, accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richlands Tire and Service Centers.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, October 14th. Your top story, a bomb threat closes schools in Slinger.
I'm Jessica Ty. Hurricanes down south can impact our insurance rates up here.
Chance for showers early this evening, otherwise breezy and cool with a high of 54 tonight. Scattered showers are possible in a low of 36. Tomorrow looks a lot like today. Cool and breezy, chance of morning rain, and a high of 52. 52 and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:02. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a bomb threat prompts a school district in the suburbs to dismiss students early today. Slinger High School and Slinger Elementary students will be sent home so law enforcement officials can sweep the area at the high school. The district says students received a social media post indicating a bomb threat targeting the school this afternoon. The district does not consider it to be a credible threat, but they are acting out of an abundance of caution. All Slinger Elementary School students will be transported to Slinger Middle School, where parents can pick them up in the lower parking lot.
Though far away from Wisconsin, natural disasters can still have a major impact on us when it comes to the cost of insurance. Jeff Salazinski from R&R Insurance tells Wisconsin's Morning News it's because consumer-level insurance companies also buy insurance.
The insurance companies that operate here in the state of Wisconsin in the upper Midwest buy their insurance, their reinsurance, from the same companies that are providing that insurance cover in Florida or in California or in Hawaii or on the East Coast.
Salazinski says it's also getting more expensive to repair and replace insured items, so you should check with your agent to make sure you're properly covered.
Decision Wisconsin, a visit from the White House and a visit from the Democratic presidential ticket. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz scheduled to be in Wisconsin today. Governor Walz campaigning right now in Eau Claire, then headed to Green Bay in the afternoon. Dr. Biden will give remarks at a political event in Dane County at the regional airport in Madison about 6:30. Then, on Thursday, Vice President Kamala Harris will visit the state for the 6th time in her campaign, with stops scheduled in Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Green Bay.
Closing park and rides for safety reasons. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is closing the park and ride lot at 4394 and Holt Avenue starting next Monday, so 1 week from today. The northeast corner and portions of the southwest lot at 4394 College Avenue will close soon after that. And the closures are all because of safety concerns. Officers have responded to nearly 300 calls for assaults, theft, shots fired, and drug overdoses since July. State and county officials have helped more than 80 people staying in the lots find reliable housing.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Nice start to the week here. The Dow is up nearly 200 points today at 43,060. NASDAQ up about 165 points at 18,508. And the S&P up about 45 points at 5859. Get an honest opinion of where you stand financially and where you're heading. Work with a fee-only fiduciary and begin the process at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sonny Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 12:05.
We found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
It's bird bashing season when you swoop into Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to a wicked 50 grand cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card all October for entries. All Bird Bash entries go towards a December 20th giveaway with a monstrous 300 grand in prizes. Bird Bash makes its bewitching return. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
At my company, we're always looking for people who are passionate and ready to work, but it's not always easy. It's time to broaden our horizons. In Wisconsin, about 600,000 people with disabilities are ready and able to work. People that just need you to believe in them and say yes.
And once you say yes, Thinkability Wisconsin will be there, providing transition and workforce support to help shape a better future for all. It all starts when you say yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. With a record of 4-2, the Packers begin preparation for the 5-1 Houston Texans this Sunday at Lambeau. Head coach Matt LaFleur proud of his team's effort in a 34-13 win over the Cardinals.
Just playing 4 quarters of complimentary football, and I thought that was about as good as we could have done it. The effort from start to finish, the focus from start to finish was exactly what is a great formula for winning football.
The NFC North, the only division in football where every team is above 500. Monday Night Football tonight features the Bills taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And basketball tonight at Fiserv Forum. The Bucks continue the preseason against the Bulls. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Much of the same as it was when Wisconsin's Midday News started at 11 o'clock. We're looking good. No big crashes to let you know about. There is one disabled vehicle being reported out on the system. It's been there since right before the start of our show, 10:57, 4145 north at Hampton Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked because of that car that's broken down. But honestly, I took a look at the video, took a look at the cameras, and that shoulder, it's a really large one. Traffic is really not even slowing down. It's off to the side, so it shouldn't cause you any issues.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line. 414-238-9329.
Fall-like conditions today, a high of 54. Chance for some scattered showers in the later part of the day. Breezy and cool. Scattered showers tonight, potentially, with a low of 36. Tomorrow, AM showers, cool, breezy, and a high of 52. We warm up a little bit. Rain goes away Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We warm up from 58 to 68 Wednesday to Friday. Weekend looks great with highs back in the 70s and a lot of sun. Right now, it's 52, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Yeah, 20-degree warm-up expected between today and Sunday. So summer's not totally gone. You're hanging on to hints of it, but definitely a fall-like feel. I've noticed this in our subdivision, the area that we live. It seems like the blink of an eye, but trees are starting to like burst. All of a sudden, we've got like these gorgeous orange maple trees in parts of our subdivision that I swear were just green like 2 days ago. It's beautiful.
Yes, I definitely downtown noticed some bursts of that deep dark red. It's one of my favorite colors. But some of the trees, it's just like a little burst yet. It's still green in some spots. And then I hope the wind. I mean, we had so much wind yesterday. You hope that wind doesn't blow all those beautiful leaves off. But some of them are still holding on.
Calm conditions. Hopefully the leaves can hang on. It looks beautiful outside. Some great stories that we're covering here. It's 12:10 on WTMJ.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Central Florida today coping with the aftermath of Hurricane Milton thanks to rising floodwaters forcing evacuations in Lake County. Nearly 100,000 properties have been impacted in some way due to waterways that have been slow to recede. High water drained slowly across Florida's flat terrain, which has prolonged the flooding and prompted several of the rescues that continued on Saturday. Assessing the damage from the recent flooding is Carrie Baker.
We're only sitting at probably $10 million in damages that we have identified now. But we suspect that will probably triple or quadruple by the time we're finished with all our work.
All right, so you think about it. Here we are today. It's Monday. So what are the top priorities in Florida? Restoring power. And we have crews from Wisconsin down there helping with that right now. Also clearing debris and distributing fuel. I was taking a look at some of the gas stations and how many were out. I mean, over the weekend, you had even more gas stations that were totally out of gas. More than 1 million people remain without power, and at least 17 fatalities have been confirmed as recovery efforts continue today.
Yeah, they have distribution sites set up for gasoline. So they are getting gas into the state, and these are for individuals to pick up in containers. Governor Ron DeSantis ordering that. And, of course, along with that, trying to beef up the supply and distribution back to the actual gas stations. Some of those gas stations were leveled. Massive repair work is needed. So the gas thing is a real problem that they're trying to address as quickly as possible. Easier said than done, but they're working at it. They're trying.
Yeah, and repairing a gas station, that doesn't happen quickly.
Exactly. NASA's Europa Clipper. Is it the Europa Clipper or the Europa Clipper? I'm going Europa.
I was going Europa.
Fair enough. Well, the mission is underway. Scientists hope it'll answer some questions about life elsewhere in the solar system. CBS News correspondent Peter King.
Its ascent into clear Florida skies was visible for hundreds of miles. Liftoff. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood says scientists hope to learn much from the Europa Clipper's survey of the icy oceans of Jupiter's fourth largest moon.
They're hoping to find out with this mission, is that environment habitable? In other words, are the conditions there that could enable microbial life, perhaps, to have formed and even be there today?
Clipper is expected to arrive at Europa in about 5.5 years. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Yeah, it's not like an overnight mission here.
5.5 years.
It's like,
woo!
Yeah, it's going to be like 9 or 10 before we get the full study, right? It's a unmanned mission, right? It's full of equipment and stuff to conduct these experiments. But Jupiter's got a number of moons, and one of them is called Europa. I'll go with Europa because that's what our CBS guy said, and I kind of like how you said it better. Anyway, nevertheless, there's a series of moons. They're studying one because of its flat surface, and the belief is that there's water under there. So they've got a bunch of equipment to help determine if there's water under there, number one. And number two, is there any sort of sustainable life? If so, I have no idea what that means for the future, but that's what they're working to figure out.
Like, could it be a fish? Could it be an animal? Could it be something that we have never even seen before?
Yes. Algae? I've seen that.
It is fascanaling.
But that's what I envision.
5.5 years, though, huh?
Yeah,
Suni and Butch will be back by then from their extravaganza.
Not a chance they'll be back by then.
Well, watch out for this. Water spouts are likely through tomorrow on Lake Michigan. A few developed yesterday near Belgium and Harrington Beach State Park. You might have seen some pictures on social media. People caught some great shots of these. Water spouts, they look like tornadoes. They form when winds over the lake converge and rotate. So you've got cold air that passes over the warmer water, and then the air goes up. Some interesting notes from the National Weather Service. Winds in a water spout are at least 50 miles per hour. That's my fun fact for you, Greg. At least 50 miles per hour. Water spouts can occur at any time of the day, but happen more frequently between August and November. So boom, right now is the time. They can also move on shore. And in fact, TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore was just telling us last hour that water spouts today will need to be monitored for that very reason.
Yeah, these are interesting, but you don't want to be in the water during it, that's for sure. That can be very damaging. So please be careful if you're out in the water. The water's a little warmer than usual right now, and it's going to be cooling off. But the visual is very interesting, but it can be certainly very dangerous as well. 12:14 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we check in with Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC. He joins us after this.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
When you walk into your bathroom, is it turn this into this? With our SiteX Creepiest Tub or Shower Contest. Enter a picture of your creepy tub or shower space at WTMJ.com for a chance to win a brand new complete tub or shower conversion installed at no cost, up to a $10,000 value. Enter your picture by texting creepy to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's the Creepiest Shower Contest, only here on WTMJ.
Definitely feeling the fall today, a high of 54 degrees, chance for some afternoon rain. It's going to be breezy as well. Tomorrow looks very much the same with a high of 52. Today's high just about 54 degrees. We'll get a warm-up going on Wednesday and throughout the rest of the week. By Sunday, we're back into the mid-70s with a lot of sun. Right now, it is 52 in Milwaukee and partly sunny at 12:17. Tim Sheehy is a senior advisor to the MMAC, a man so powerful he can't control the weather. He joins us in studio here today. Hi, Tim.
No, I just ride it.
You've busted out the flannel here.
I did. That's a big, it's pretty late in the season, though, which is great. Mid-October before flannel comes out, that's pretty good.
We've been so lucky. It was like 81 degrees on Friday. We decided, where can we go? It was kind of late. Where can we go that still has a patio open? Because we just wanted to appreciate the weather. It was awesome.
No, we are in the climate change Goldilocks zone.
Very interesting. Very well put.
Wisconsin is. Yeah.
I did notice this on Sunday. I had to pick my parents up from the airport, and I ended up going over the Hone Bridge just to take a different route because I had more time to kill based upon their travel schedule. But nonetheless, I noticed a giant cruise ship sort of right out by the port. And as we kind of transition to fall, we sort of work our way out of that cruise season. But it was definitely a season. And some friends of my parents utilized it as part of one of their trips to the Midwest. So it's really become a thing here.
Yeah, it has. And, if you think about it, we get all the advertisements for Europe, right? All these cruise ships. You can go river cruising. You can make a cruise in the Mediterranean. You see all this advertisement. But for a lot of people, cruising the Great Lakes is that similar experience. We just don't think about it because it's in our backyard. And, Milwaukee is lucky. We become both the kind of the destination and the starting point for a lot of these cruises. So we get a lot of people coming in here before the cruise and staying after the cruise. And I think now we're up to 5 different cruise lines that utilize Milwaukee as one of the ports in the Great Lakes. So, people are cruising between here and Toronto and Cleveland and Detroit and Chicago. But as we think about it, just as you did driving over the Hone Bridge, there's probably no more spectacular a port destination than Milwaukee because you're right downtown and it's really accessible to get to the downtown from where the ship docks.
Anytime I see a cruise ship coming in on a beautiful day, I'm just so thankful. I'm like, look at this weather that all of these people are going to see. Because oftentimes they're seeing Milwaukee for the first time. Speaking of the people on these cruise ships, in some cases, they're global. I mean, they're coming from all over the place. Yeah. That's huge for our economy.
It is. Walking around Sunday afternoon when the cruise ship came in, I must have heard 5 different languages just walking up and down by where the ship came in. And you're right, people are coming from other parts of the world to kind of tour the Great Lakes. We just don't, I think, give it the same cachet because it's in our backyard, but it's a pretty cool thing to do for any people coming from anywhere in the world.
Well, you think about what you do if you go on a cruise. You have a stop in insert city name here, and you want to book an excursion, go off and do something. And it's a great opportunity for the Harley Museum or brewery tours or anything going on here in downtown to kind of piggyback on, right? To open the doors to these new people.
5 minutes from all those destinations that you mentioned. So if you're going to get an Uber, if you're going to walk, you can do it much easier here than you can in a Toronto or a Chicago. So I think it's really been popular with the cruise lines.
Do you think there's anything we need to do differently or add to Milwaukee to make sure that we encourage in the future even more ships to come? I know there's talk about another dock, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the Port of Milwaukee's done a great job of investing in the infrastructure so the cruise ships have a very comfortable place to dock. It's really efficient for them. It's easy to get supplies in and off. And again, it's really easy for the passengers to get to all the amenities. So, no, I think we positioned ourselves really well.
One of the other things, too, and I noticed this maybe like 2 weekends ago when I was down that way, they have a beautiful new sign that says, "Welcome to Milwaukee." And it's a great sign for people coming off the ship to see, and also was just featured on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City when they were showing some of the beauty shots. I'm like, look at that. That's the new sign. You didn't watch that episode, did you, Tim?
I missed it. But I'm sure Greg taped it.
Well, it's amazing, and we were kind of having fun at that last week, but we spent so much time talking about Top Chef and how it showed the Miller Caves and these wonderful areas and beautiful farm country out in Oconomowoc. Well, this is also a Bravo TV show that is sort of piggyback on what Top Chef did. Maybe a very different audience, but it's still exposure from Milwaukee. They go to a Bucks game. They go to the Harley Museum. They're curling. They're doing all these things that show Milwaukee in a different light to different people.
Yeah, it's just too much drama.
It's just not... Just not your bag.
Well, Tim, you might not know this, but I took one for the team, and I watched the 2 episodes. I had never seen the show in my life, and I watched them, and I was shocked at how much Milwaukee was featured. I watched that first night thinking that it was just going to be a couple scenes at the Bucks game. No, the whole episode was based on Milwaukee, and then episode 2 as well. I mean, as you talk about going to Motor, going to the Miller Caves, talking about the champagne of beers, doing the curling. This is it. That's a big deal for Milwaukee. No, I'm done. I'm out. I don't need to watch anymore because Milwaukee is not featured anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Those 2 episodes were huge for Milwaukee.
I just don't want to watch a show through the eyes of 5 day drinking unhappy people.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. I much prefer Top Chef. Nevertheless, I saw this the other day. So Wisconsin students, including here in Milwaukee, starting to show gains in their outcomes with reading and in math. Is there more to this study and its findings, however?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is one of the biggest self-inflicted wounds that Wisconsin has put on itself. And by that, I mean lowering the standards. So if you go back to 2021, across the state, basically 31% of our students were on grade level. This recent test that came out from DPI, this new reformulated way to look at the results, has 51% of our students on grade level. There's no way we made a 20-point gain. What happened is we moved the goalposts or lowered them. So what you're seeing now is it's easier to be proficient or at grade level, so more kids are. They've disengaged the state test from the national test, so now you can't gauge how you're doing against other students in other states. And maybe the most damaging thing is we've set up false hope for these kids. If you're on grade level under the new DPI measure, you're going to project to get a 19 on your ACT. Now, for people who don't have kids in college or haven't gone through that in a while, what that means is you are barely able to get into a college. And so we're setting these kids up with a false hope that if they're on grade level, they're prepared to go on to a 2 or 4 year institution. And it's really a shame. And I'm hopeful at some point we'll reverse this and go back to the standard we all should have.
So Wisconsin did this and kind of changed the standards, lowered the testing standards. Are other states doing this as well?
Well, other states are playing with the names, and I don't really care if they play with the names of what was proficient, what was advanced.
Now they're meeting.
What was on grade level. Now they're meeting, or they've got some other nice word for it. That's all fine. But what we really should do is have our kids achieving a standard so they can go on to 2-year or 4-year degrees so they can prepare themselves for the challenging work environments that are coming ahead. We shouldn't be lowering standards. And that's in effect what we've done. And it's really a shame. If you want to think about this now, 12% of MPS students will graduate from high school, go to UW Milwaukee, and graduate. So we are not at the point we need to be, and lowering standards makes everybody feel good, but it doesn't produce better results.
Switching gears here real quick, a recent report from the United Nations Population Fund shows that developed countries, including the United States, the birth rate is starting to decline. What does that mean, you think, for us here?
Yeah, two things. So for lots of the advanced parts of the world now, birth rates are dropping under 2.1 per family, which is below what they call the replacement rate. So that's one challenge. The bigger challenge now is, for example, in Europe, 40% of Europe's population by 2050 will be over the age of 65. So think about that in terms of Florida. That's double the population of over 65 that we have in Florida, which is kind of our retirement capital. So this is a longer discussion, but I think it's why immigration is one of the biggest issues in this election and for the United States going forward. Because if we don't have a good immigration program, we are not going to be able to continue to grow, and that threatens our pension. And that threatens the number of people that are working to support those that are retired with Social Security and other things.
How do we increase the birth rate? Well, we all know the answer to that. So, Greg, we're not going to ask him that.
Alcohol, yeah. Isn't that it?
That's Greg's answer.
Yeah, story for another time. Always good to see you, Tim. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.
1226 and WTMJ News is next.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With shorter days in the forecast, brighten up now with top-quality lighting and ceiling fans at unbeatable prices. At our award-winning showroom, you'll see our new display of Visual Comfort brand lighting along with their newest LED lights and ceiling fans. We carry every major brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
I know some of our best weather happens in the fall, but I also know what comes next. Homeowners, this is your time to break out the checklist and prepare for some of Wisconsin's harshest weather in the winter. Here are some hot points to check so you are prepared for this upcoming winter season. Make sure your gutters and downspouts are free and clear of debris. This is a must-do before winter. Pick a nice day and clean everything out so water can flow through. This will help reduce the amount of ice that can build up after a snowstorm. From the ground, check if your roof and chimney are sealed and ready. Please don't go onto the roof for a couple reasons. Safety is number one. If you don't normally walk on roofs or on sloped surfaces, then staying off the roof will assure your safety. Excessive walking on your roof could damage the shingles, so you want to leave it to a professional if you want somebody up on your roof. Check your attic and make sure the vents are free of debris and air is circulating throughout the attic. A well-ventilated attic will dramatically reduce the chance of moisture issues when the temperatures drop. You wouldn't believe how many homeowners live in cold homes and their windows are unlocked. Check and make sure your windows are locked and seals are intact. Many old windows can be locked and still drafty. Those windows need to be replaced to really save on energy costs and dramatically improve the comfort in your home. By checking your home and making sure it is in tip-top shape makes so much sense. And it is way better to be a proactive homeowner in the fall instead of a reactive homeowner in January.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your home's go-to contractor here. Take your next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, October 14th. Your top story, school sweeps happening in Slinger.
I'm Jessica Ty, making sure that cold isn't something worse.
Chance for some afternoon sprinkles today, breezy and cool with a high of just 54 degrees. Some waterspouts possible over Lake Michigan. Later this evening with a low of 36. Tuesday, AM rain possible. More waterspouts, cool and breezy with a high of 52. 52 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:31 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. A bomb threat prompting a school district in the suburbs to dismiss students early today.
Slinger High School and Slinger Elementary School students are being sent home early this afternoon while law enforcement officials sweep the high school. This after the district says students received a social media post indicating that a bomb threat was targeting the high school this afternoon. Now, the district doesn't consider it a credible threat. In fact, they believe it likely is swatting. However, they are acting out of an abundance of caution. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. The fifth statewide referendum question in Wisconsin this year appears on the November ballot. President and General Counsel at Law Forward, Jeff Mandel, tells Spanning the State.
This referendum is proposing to change a couple of words in our Constitution to essentially reiterate what is already true under state and federal law, which is that only U.S. citizens can legally vote in our federal and state elections.
Only a handful of municipalities in the country are experimenting with non-citizen voting in local elections. Federal law prevents non-citizens from voting for president. There have not been any serious proposals for non-citizen voting here in Wisconsin.
With colder months on the horizon, more people are prone to develop respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. Flash dance. Actress Jennifer Beals, a guest on Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News, she discussed how it affected her.
The symptoms will subside a little bit. And so you think you're done, and then all of a sudden they come roaring back.
Medical experts say those aged 60 and older should get vaccinated for RSV protection.
A German company is building new facility plants in Kenosha. The Milwaukee Business Journal's Teddy Nichol tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News it will be their largest North American facility with plans to...
The first facility is underway, and the next two could break ground in the spring, and they would have initially 55 more employees. Combined, all of these plants would be expected to bring nearly $100 million in property tax value to Kenosha.
Schutz Container would join other manufacturers like Uline and Meyer in Kenosha County.
Well, it's never too early to start making holiday plans, right? The CPKC holiday train will make a handful of stops around Wisconsin during the month of December. Between December 7th and 8th, the train will stop in Sturtevant, Caledonia, Wauwatosa, Heartland, Oconomowoc, and Watertown. Since its inception in 1999, the CPKC holiday train has raised more than $24.3 million and more than 5.3 million pounds of food donated for community food banks in Canada and the United States.
Head coach Matt LaFleur talks about the Packers' big win over the weekend. Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. With a record of 4-2, the Packers begin preparation for the 5-1 Houston Texans this Sunday at Lambeau. It's a noon kick. Head coach Matt LaFleur thrilled with his team's effort yesterday, 34-13, a win over the Cardinals.
Just playing 4 quarters of complimentary football, and I thought that was about as good as we could have done it. The effort from start to finish, the focus from start to finish was exactly what is a great formula for winning football.
Yeah, every team in the NFC North winning right now, the only division in the NFL where every team is above 500. Monday Night Football tonight, it's the Bills and Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Bucks preseason basketball tonight at Fiserv Forum. Coverage begins at 6:30 on WTMJ. The Bucks taking on the Chicago Bulls.
Let's go ahead right now and get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We're still doing really well. No big crashes to let you know about. We do have a disabled vehicle on 4145 North at Hampton Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked because of that. I do want to let you know, though, in case you were traveling over in Jefferson County, just give you a heads up on this one because this is new. There's a crash on the ramp from US 18 to Wisconsin 26 North. Heads up once again, in case you were headed to Jefferson County, crash on a ramp from US 18 to Wisconsin 26 North. Otherwise, we're looking really good.
Fall-like conditions today with a high of 54. Chance of rain in the evening hours. Breezy and cool. Overnight low of 36. Tomorrow looks a lot like today with a high of 52 degrees. Rain goes away on Wednesday. Temperatures warm up a little bit up into the mid-50s, upper 50s if you're closer, or I should say further away from the lake, back into the 70s here by the weekend. It is 54 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:38.
Blazing a trail through barbed wire valleys and overgrown dales. I'm barefoot and bareback and born tough as nails. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
A big announcement from Summerfest today, the first headliner for 2025. Greg, every announcement from Summerfest is exciting, but there's something that just takes it up a notch when you get that first one for the upcoming festival.
We're talking about fall and the idea that maybe frost will be on the ground here at some point throughout the week, and all of a sudden you got a burst of summer into your day, which is great. And it's just the start. These will trickle in over the next several months, but it's always good to get the first one figured out.
Love it. Some people heard that bump in, and they're getting pumped right now. Grammy-winning country star Lainey Wilson will play the American Family Insurance Amphitheater on Thursday, June 26th. Circle it on your calendar. She's really on a roll right now. Let's talk to Scott Zeal about it, Vice President of Entertainment for Milwaukee World Festival. Thanks for joining us, Scott. How pumped are you? I mean, it's got to feel good for you guys, too, to get that first big announcement out there.
I can't wait. I mean, there's nothing wrong with fall weather, plaid, and pumpkin patches, but I love to start thinking about June and Summerfest and some of the great big names in entertainment that we're going to start talking about now.
She is a big get. For people who maybe aren't as much into country music, maybe they're just now starting to hear about her because, I mean, she's been on a roll with Entertainer of the Year for Country Music Awards, the Academy of Country Music Awards. I mean, she's just been on a roll, and she has a history with Summerfest, doesn't she?
Well, it's funny because we were looking back at some of the lineups in the last 5 to 10 years, and we discovered that Lainey played here back in 2019 on the U.S. Cellular Connection stage, just when she was getting going. And, a budding star at that time, and now it's great to see it come full circle where she's headlining the big stage in the American Family Insurance Amphitheater.
It's one of the things you've always been so good at with Summerfest is finding those, and I think the side stages really lend itself to this as sort of a philosophy.
Definitely.
But those acts that you can't fit at the Oasis anymore, like, oh my gosh, look at this, and you have no choice. You have to put them in the amphitheater. This is kind of in that same vein, isn't it, Scott? A true rising star.
Well, we were hanging out with our friends at U.S. Cellular a week or two ago, and they were talking about this other big country star, Hardy. And I said, well, that's, you remember when he played on your stage in 2018? And they were like, what are you talking about? I said, no, let's go back into our computer program here and figure out. So we figured out that it was literally at 4 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and the people who are behind him, as well as Lainey Wilson, just are excited about exposing new talent, and Summerfest audiences are very, very receptive and catch on to artists very early. So it's fun when you catch lightning in a bottle.
Do the country artists plan earlier? It seems like we get these country announcements earlier, or maybe it just feels like that.
I think, the country musicians clearly are very, very, they're smart, they're very personable. If you go to a country show, you can go out, buy a T-shirt or a poster, and most likely the artist is going to stand there for an hour or two and sign just about all of them. I think country artists love to tour. So, yes, they're planning earlier, they're making commitments earlier, and hence Lainey Wilson being the first announcement of 2025.
And it's part of a Wisconsin two-step for Lainey Wilson, because she's playing in Cadott, Wisconsin at a festival the very next day. How helpful is that information when it comes to planning, right? Sometimes there's an off day for travel or whatnot, maybe a couple, but you've got sort of baked in another opportunity here in the state.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, the best thing for us to do is to partner with other, music festivals where they're genre specific, or, like the Bonnaroo Music Festival is the weekend before Summerfest. There's a lot of the largest music festivals in Canada happen right after Summerfest happens. So yeah, we're on the phone, we're networking with other great music festivals. I think the more eyes and ears on which artists are really striking a chord with audiences, like Lainey is. She's really become a spectacular voice in the last year or two and is on the rise. So we're super excited to have Lainey Wilson.
Hey, speaking of plans, Lainey Wilson also has some big plans on Thanksgiving, doesn't she?
She announced yesterday during the game that she's going to be doing the big Thanksgiving halftime show, the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants. So that's a big deal. That's a huge audience for her to reach. And I think there's nothing better than, finishing your turkey dinner and jumping on the couch and watching some good football. So Lainey Wilson will be the entertainment for that big show.
We'll be hearing a little bit of this on Thanksgiving.
I got a heart like a truck. It's been drugged through the mud, runs on dreams.
How much sampling do you do, Scott? Right? Do you sit there and do you pour a nice bourbon and just kind of kick back and just let everything play through before you put the final signature on the dotted line to book an artist?
I'm probably more or less chasing my kids around the house.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not being able to sit down and have a drink. But no, it's exciting this time of the year. I mean, everybody, and it doesn't necessarily only, happen to be country artists. I mean, every style of music plans their tours earlier and earlier. I think the last time we were talking, I had literally been in Nashville in February of this year, and we were kicking off the 2025 booking season. So everybody's out earlier and earlier, and so we work really hard. I mean, it's crazy because we're obviously producing Summerfest 2024. We're making it happen. We have a great team of people, put on a excellent, festival this year. And while that's happening, we're having meetings about the next year already. So it keeps us on our toes.
We're talking with Scott Zeal, Vice President of Entertainment for Milwaukee World Festival, because Summerfest just announced the first headliner for 2025, country star Lainey Wilson. Scott, I'm kind of wondering, who else do you want to get this year? Who do you have your eyes on?
Everybody.
No, come on.
Well, the great thing about Summerfest, as we talked about, it's our job, during the 9 days of Summerfest, is we're here to present something for everyone. So whether that's in the American Family Insurance Amphitheater, with all the different styles of music, to all of the great free stages, at Summerfest. I mean, we're an incredible value. You're going to find a way to get into Summerfest for free every day with our admission tickets. A one-day admission is under $30. You'll never find that anywhere else. And then we pride ourselves, in the amphitheater, in the American Family Insurance Amphitheater, where we try to keep it very diverse and across the board. So got some exciting names coming down the pipe. We try to get as many of them announced before the holidays, so it's a great opportunity to surprise people with tickets for the holidays, for gifts and stuff like that. So lots of good stuff to come.
Well, looking forward to the next announcement. I'm sure you just kind of coast and do nothing for the rest of the year, Scott, so enjoy your time off until January.
Guys, it's always a pleasure to talk to you and always to get people excited about next summer. So can't wait to come back to you with some more news soon.
Excellent. We'll look forward to it. Scott Zeal joining us, Vice President of Entertainment at Milwaukee World Festival. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, you bet. 12:47 on WTMJ.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland has made wishes come true for over 6 decades. Toyland is now open, and we have unbeatable celebration savings throughout the store. Like 20-car Hot Wheels gift packs, $17.99. 40-pound bags of Blaine's brand wild bird food, just $14.99. And save on extra laundry detergent, 4 for $10. Plus, donate a new unwrapped toy to Kids Helping Kids, and we'll match donations up to $250,000. Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland celebration, going on now.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek. Were you watching the game yesterday thinking to yourself, I think I could do a little better than this? Maybe so. I was. Flanners Home Entertainment, that's the place to go. Flanners Home Entertainment. If your home is in need of a technological upgrade, you call on the folks at Flanners. If you want to watch that movie or game or whatever it is on a bigger screen, better resolution, better picture, better sound, better audio quality, you connect with the folks at Flanners, a locally owned company. They've been doing it right for decades here. It's a treat to go into a Flanners store. They got a great showroom in Flanners, Grafton, and of course online anytime at flanners.com. All the big box stores, you're not given that after sales support. Flanners really helps you from start to finish. And they do have the best brands. They do have the best quality. They do have the best service and guaranteed best price. Let that sink in. These are top priorities for Flanners. Connect with them. Have them help you. Whole house audio systems or maybe just a TV upgrade. It's Flanners Home Entertainment. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns. It's spooky season.
And Heiser's got monster savings waiting for you. Are your tires giving you a bumpy, loud, and spine-chilling ride? Howling like a ghost with every turn? Feeling like you're in a horror movie? Don't let those worn-out, haunted tires turn your car into a nightmare. We'll keep your ride safe for all of your spooky season adventures. With 5 certified service centers, we can banish any frightful tire problem. So don't wait. Stop in today. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Hey, is your shower and or tub space looking like it needs an update? Well, WTMJ and Sidex have paired together to give away a tub or shower conversion. So if you have a nightmare-looking space, shower, or tub, here's your chance. You can get a full makeover valued up to $10,000. It is back, our Sidex Creepiest Bathroom Contest. This is so much fun. We did it about a year ago on the afternoon show, and it is back. All you got to do is take a picture of your shower and tub space and then text the word creepy to the WTMJ talk and text line. That's 855-616-1620. Submit your picture and you could win a full conversion from Sidex. To learn more and check out the rules, all you got to do is visit our website at WTMJ.com.
As you age, you start noticing pain in your joints that didn't used to be there. But you don't have to live in pain. When joint pain becomes a reality, schedule your free pain evaluation with Rejuvenex. We'll find where your pain lives and inject powerful, FDA-approved medicines that reduce inflammation and pain while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. While treatments like stem cells can cost close to $10,000 per joint, at Rejuvenex, the cost for your injection can be as low as $65, and almost all major insurance plans cover our treatments, so you may not have to pay anything at all. Call us now to schedule your free pain evaluation, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Fall-like conditions today, a high of 54 degrees. Sun is out right now, at least downtown it is. There's a chance for rain rolling in a little bit later on in the afternoon. Anything would be scattered and certainly not, all-encompassing, but be mindful of it. Breezy conditions as well, high of 54. Tomorrow, much of the same and a high of 52. We warm up a bit as the sun returns in full force on Wednesday and a high of 58. Then we get back into the 60s, upper 60s by Friday, looking at 70s to mid-70s over the weekend. 52 degrees, partly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:52. Wrapping up Wisconsin's Midday News on a Monday. Greg and Jessica with you till 1 o'clock here. A lot of questions about some recent products and ads that some say should never have been created because of their questionable designs. Have you heard about this? ABC's Sherry Preston.
Bath & Body Works says it didn't mean for its snowed-in scented candle to look like KKK robes as people online saw it. It was supposed to be a paper cutout of a snowflake. Bath & Body Works has pulled the candles and apologized, but some are wondering how a mistake like that could have happened, given how many layers of management would have to approve such a design. Heinz Ketchup recently got into similar trouble for an ad campaign in the UK that many said was reminiscent of stereotypical blackface. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Okay, so if you want to text the word watch to our talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Gina is working getting a picture up of this Bath & Body Works candle label. So Sherry described it as a snowflake, right? It's supposed to mimic a snowflake.
It kind of looks like a snowflake you would create as a kid in school.
Like cutting it out?
Yes, cutting the paper, kind of generic like that.
I think that's really well put, because where it doesn't resonate as a snowflake to me is in sort of the rounded edges. Like I think snowflake, very crisp and sharp and linear and line, not rounded in any way. My first thought in looking at this, and keep in mind, if it's the snowflake, it's only, I would say 1/6 of a snowflake. You only see a portion of it. This looks like KKK hoods to me.
Well, and then
I get it.
As soon as somebody puts that thought in your mind, you can't not see it.
That's a good point.
That's the problem, too.
That's a good point. So Bath & Body Works is apologizing. They are on this. It's being removed. I have not been to a mall or a Bath & Body Works in quite some time. I don't know if these made their way to Wisconsin. I'm sure you've been able to find them online, but I get it. They're doing the right thing about it. But my first thought is, how in the world did this get by anybody to begin with?
Well, that's the thing, because, okay, if it gets by one person, right, but these massive companies, they have so many layers of people to check this stuff off and check off, like, yep, looks good. That's what makes you wonder, like, how did this get past so many people? Users on X started criticizing this candle on Tuesday, really. They were dubbing it the Clandle.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Not good.
We've got people texting the word watch, and Gina's working at getting it up right now. Somebody texted the word snowflake. I don't know what that will give you, but it will not give you the picture of what Gina's trying to put up. It's a Bath & Body Works candle. I get the argument, but to your point, nobody saw this and said, hey, you know what? That doesn't look quite right.
The thing where it goes wrong, honestly, it's not the top of it for me. It's the two holes that look like the eye holes. That's where it goes wrong for me, because you think about a snowflake and you think about all the little intricacies, right? And so it just feels like there should be way more little cutouts in order for it to be a snowflake.
Yeah, no,
that's
I'm with
where
you
it
on
goes
there.
wrong. The two holes. Yeah.
Gina, did I spring this on you too late? Is it too late to get it? She's nodding her head yes. I don't.
Greg, what goodness are you going to give the people on streaming if we can't give this?
I know.
Can you do a little dance or give them something?
I don't think anybody wants to see me dance, Gina. She'll post it on social media. I am sorry, everybody. We had a lot of people text the word watch. We admittedly did not know where we were going to go with our final segment today. This was a story that caught our interest, and I sprung it on Gina, and I did not give her enough time to put up this label. That is my fault.
I could get a picture on my phone and then just go up to one of the cameras, right?
Oh, I think so.
Could I do that?
Yeah,
Do
that
we
would
have
probably
time
work.
for that?
We've got
Okay.
like 30 seconds.
All right. Can you talk while I do this?
Yeah, I'll give you the forecast
Can you make
here.
this work?
We might see some snow on the ground at some point. Tyler Moore talked about that earlier in the program. A reminder that you can always download the podcast here, listen or watch at your leisure here, WTMJ.com. Subscribe to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
Here I go.
You're going to the camera here. Yes, so this will suffice. I hung Gina out to dry, our intrepid producer. Jessica's now holding a picture of the label in front of our cameras. You have to back up a little bit. It's not terribly in focus. Back up a little bit more. Take a step back. Now now the camera's not even in the view. Now you got to move your hand, and the camera's following you. This is a failed experiment. Nevertheless, check it out on social media. It's 12:56.
Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Limping to the finish here. Sorry, everybody. That's my fault entirely. Hey, it's me again for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. What great people. I've been working with them after my car was hit by a deer a little over a week ago. They have been fantastic to work with, handling everything with my insurance company. I'm sort of out of it at this point. The folks at Holiday have been wonderful to work with. They gave us a courtesy car to use while everything is being sorted out. I'm sure in time we'll need another vehicle, and Holiday is going to go to work for us like they've done over the last decade. Gear up for fall and winter adventures in a new Chevrolet Buick or GMC. They got deep closeout savings going on right now, and you can stack it with enticing offers that'll help lower your bottom line and payment. Truck Month, the sale is on right now at Holiday, the destination to get more truck or SUV for your buck. Get ready for the winter driving conditions. Holiday provides the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the place. I truly do appreciate the many ways they make the process simple and easy. It's always pressure-free at Holiday. Navigate today's car market with some confidence. Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer is on your side. It's Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Accolades are per 2023 Buick and GMC zone sales records. Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Wisconsin volleyball has a new home.
It's match point in Madison.
Catch all the excitement of the 2024 season.
Booth and Spreck putting up that Wisconsin wall.
And don't miss out on moments like this.
Booth dunks it down with two hands, and that's a point for Wisconsin. Set Spreck, Hill, Franklin. Franklin.
Badgers volleyball on WTMJ is presented by Steinhoffels. Don't miss any of the action right here on Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Outdoor living is great.